What's up, guys? Who needs meta here with Cat again?
It's Jankmas!
It's Jankmas, yeah. As you see the card in front of you.
What else would you expect when seeing 3 Garlandolf, King of Destructions, in front of you?
Good. No, it's good. This is good.
This deck is all about getting out Garlandolf, because he's a guy with some sick art and an unfortunately way less sick effect. But what he does is when he's ritual summoned, he will nuke the field and kill any monster, including your own, that has defense lower than its attack. It doesn't target. Potentially it's a really satisfying board wipe against something like frogs, or even like kills most things in plants, but it's 100 short to kill Titanial. Actually 200, but it's cool. It's a board wipe, and its ritual spell actually has like a secondary effect, which was rare for the time. And he's just a guy. He's just a cool guy.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. The things you should... I'll get into the things you should know about this card later and why it's reserved for Jankmas. But so it's all about getting the ritual guy out. So to help get Garlandolf out, we have generic ritual support cards in triple Manju and 1 Sonic Bird. With these kind of decks, it's more crucial to find your spell first than your monster because of preparation.
I was like, because you have prepping.
Because preparation always searches the monster and can also search the spell if you find it. So you always typically want to find the spell first. So that's why you run an extra spell finder and not like a Senju. That's pretty self-explanatory for that. But the only card that really redeems this deck is the fact that it can pretty effectively use the Djinns in this format.
Because it's 7?
It's 7.
Yeah.
So you can like Armageddon dump it, or have it in grave already, summon Manju, and that's your 7. It's also a big enough monster that, like, unlike something like Relinquished, you can kind of proactively just summon it, even if you're not going to like pop anything with its effect, and have a 2500 beat stick that says your opponent can't special summon cards, which is really good. That's pretty much it. It's a big body that can kind of maybe stick around if you can summon it with the Djinn.
2k butt.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you can just like wall with it. Like it's surprisingly, it's got good stats for what it is. So you're trying to get this card out as soon as possible along with Garlandolf. To do that, it's pretty easy to tech in like the Dark Warriors like Arma and Grepher to send it. When either of these send it, they're level 4. Djinn is level 3. That's 7 for your Garlandolf. That makes it the math pretty simple. And you also will play like a card trooper just in case you want to mill it, because since you're already going through the trouble of running a bunch of darks and trying to put stuff in the grave, you can and should run a small Vayu package, both to make the deck good, playable, and give you something to do aside from just summon Garlandolf. Like, ideally, you want Garlandolf to hit the board and nuke a monster or two, right? To really feel like you're getting any kind of value out of it. So having this proactive engine in your deck to put an Armed Wing on the board so your opponent has to summon something to get rid of it normally, then allows you for the clapback potential to really get some value out of Garlandolf. And it's, good cards. Vayu's like, I don't know, the best deck in the format. Do people agree on that? It's, if not the best, it's one of the best. So having the best deck as an engine is pretty good. Other cards that you can send with your darks are Plague and Necro, because they're good. And then you have Dad to prioritize on, how many darks you're sending, and then Gorz, because Gorz.
Is Manju not enough for Chaos Sorcerer?
It is. It's just kind of redundant.
Okay.
Personally, I think 3 lights isn't quite enough. And you're not running like Sangan or anything to search it. So, like, I don't know. You could run Chaos Sorcerer if you want, but I personally think you're both tight on room, and it's kind of redundant with what Garlandolf does to almost everything that isn't like named Stardust. And I think you'd probably want to run at least 1 more light if you wanted to tech Sork in. So that's that. For monsters, I think that's 23. We'll have to count afterwards. Into the spell part of the ritual engine, you have Pot of Greed and the ritual spell. So preparation is great. It's one of the reasons you even look at ritual decks in the first place. It always will add a level 7 or lower ritual from deck to your hand, And if you have a ritual spell in your graveyard already, you can add that to your hand at the same time as well.
This is what makes the deck playable, right?
That's like what you build around, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, I want to go +1 with this card. How do I do that and not lose the game while doing it?
If Garlandolf was level 8, but this card said you could ritual summon with like 1 star, you still probably wouldn't be able to play it or something like that because like you can't search.
Right.
The best
I mean,
I don't know.
Demise is impacted by not being applicable to this card. Like if Demise was level 7 and could fit this, or if this was up to level 8, Demise might actually be like pretty good.
What is the second effect of this card?
So the second effect of the ritual is you can banish it from your graveyard during your main phase, and this turn any monster that a ritual monster destroys by battle, you can, is it bottom deck it or top deck it? I think it's top deck it. Yes, you can top deck a monster killed by battle with a ritual monster when you do it.
So is that why you play 2 so you can have 1 for this and 1 for this?
You play 2 for a few reasons. 1, just so you see it. You play 2 to see 1, so that you can recur it with this. But if you do use the banish effect, you want another one to be able to search so that you can recur it with preparation. It's equally important to have 2 for that reason as it is just to be able to see it more easily. The effect of the ritual card is like, it's okay. Like hopefully when you summon Garlandolf, you're blowing the board and you're not going to be able to use this effect the turn you summon it. So you're really just saving it, and or if like you mill it, or something like that. But it is like, it's not nothing. Like you can actually do something useful with it. Sometimes you can kind of rise somebody into an unfavorable position. Generic spells, Allure because Darks, Braincon because you have Plague. You will notice I didn't have Gale in here. I just didn't really find the room. You could probably cut stuff to put Gale in here for the usual Vayu stuff if you want. But the rest is just staples. Burial being able to put back a used Djinn for another ritual summon. Pretty cool. That's a secondary bonus, but everything else is pretty run-of-the-mill. No MST because I've got trap stuns that I think are more useful to protect Garlandolf, but we'll get there now. Speaking of protecting Garlandolf, we've got D-Prisons and Mirror Force. No TT because once you have Garlandolf with the Djinn up, you really don't want to remove it from the board yourself. I think there's enough discards in this deck that you can run 2 Wing Blasts as flexible interruption. You have 3 Vayu, 2 Roko, Necro, Plague, and 2 Djinns that you really don't mind pitching with this card. So while it's more of a hard minus than some other decks, like it's fine. You get half a card back a lot of the times with it. You also play Return because you're banishing a bunch of cards, and it's also just what Vayu is doing these days. And then Double Trap Stun to preserve Garlandolf. Say you resolve it successfully with a Djinn, your opponent can't really do anything except set cards, and then a bunch of back row to try to kill it with a D-Prison or something. You can just kind of proactively flip a Trap Stun and or reactively if they flip a D-Prison or a Compulse or something. You could run Trunade. I just don't think this deck is killing your opponent quite fast enough to justify putting the cards back rather than like negating them or something. But consideration for you. That is the main deck. That is 41.
So why does Garlandolf suck?
So Garlandolf is even worse than it might seem because its effect will not resolve unless it is face up on the field. So you ritual summon Garlandolf, its effect activates, your opponent activates bottomless. Nothing happens.
Because it's like Black Whirlwind and not like Freed. So Freed targets. So that's its activation requirement. It's like Trap Dust Shoot. If they chain a card and have less than 4 on resolution, they just need it on activation. This is like Black Whirlwind, where it checks on resolution because it doesn't target.
Yeah, it has to be on the field to reference its attack in order to actually pop anything. If you get booked, if you get compulsed, if you get bottomless, if you get Raigeki braked, it won't resolve. So bear that in mind. But if you can stick it, it's pretty cool.
So that's kind of why the trap sets
that's what you need there. Like, honest to God, it could almost be like 7 tools. Like, you're almost that down bad for ways to get it on the field. But I'm not quite there yet. The extra deck is pretty. It's staple stuff. You got the Vayu package with the armed wings.
I don't think you need 3 of this because I don't think you can legally make it because you only have 2 of the guy.
You've got 3 Vayu.
You got
and return and burial.
Barely,
so
but I guess, but like they don't even play 3 of this card anymore.
The only thing you would really cut that for that's not already in here is you could cut this for like a Mistworm.
Okay.
If you want, but more or less usual stuff. You have room for a Chimera Tech, Catastor, Brio, Goyo, Black Rose, Stardust, Dark End, Thought Ruler, and Colossal. So you've got just about everything you want. But you could find room for a Mistworm if you really wanted. That's pretty much it. The closing thoughts. This deck is fun. I think Vayu is the best package to put this card in and resolve summoning it most consistently.
Not Stone Dragon.
I think Dark Calling is the way to Unga Bunga with this card the best. Because there is a level 7 vanilla that you can ARA and then, wow, look, both Dark Calling materials are on the field or in the grave. Great. I do think in Dark Calling, this like being able to kill Duplock is pretty cool. But in terms of consistency, Vayu is probably the way to play this deck. Fun fact, if you wanted to, you could probably just switch Garlandolf and its 2 ritual spells out, 4/3 relinquished, and 2 of its ritual spells. And I think this deck would play more or less the same. I think it's pretty interchangeable, honestly. I don't think you'd change much. You could probably do away with the trap stuns, but it's a pretty... it's interchangeable. So that's it. The card's cool. Don't be that guy and take advantage of your opponents not knowing that this card won't resolve if they remove it when you activate its effect. But
just don't tell them, and then they won't chain anything to it.
Yeah. Don't volunteer the information, but don't be a chud.
Thanks for watching, guys.